Hello, class. My name is Hayden Hooper, and for my athlete presentation, I am going to do it on LeBron James, and mostly I'm going to focus on his work with police brutality. And LeBron James was born on December 30th, 1984, in Akron, Ohio. He graduated at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. Now, the one thing about LeBron James is that he did not go to college. He went straight into the NBA. Something that was around 2003 when he went to the NBA draft was very common for like those top key players. So like compared to let's say last year's draft, someone like Zion Williamson would be one of these players like LeBron who would go from straight from high school to the NBA, someone that is ready to be in the pros. So let's keep on going into his NBA background. He was the first overall pick in the 2003 draft, drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. In that span, he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers from 2003 to 2010, Miami Heat 2010 to 2014. Then he went back to Cleveland in 2015 to 2018, and now he is with the LA Lakers. Look at what he has done over the past 17 years in the league. He was the first overall pick in the 2003 draft, but he also won that year as well the NBA Rookie of the Year award. He was also the first Cavalier to ever win it. His first All-Star selection came in the next year in the sophomore season and the 2004-2005 season. And since that, he has made every All-Star game since then. It's the most consecutive in NBA history. So some of the accolades that he had during the NBA are he's a three-time champion, two with the Heat, one with the Cavaliers, and also the NBA Finals MVP. He also has four NBA MVPs, two with the Cavaliers and two with the Miami Heat. He also has a wife outside of the court, shockingly. He is the husband to Savannah James. They married in 2013, and he is also the father to LeBron James Jr., aka Bronny, Bryce Maximus James, and Zuri James. He also, I want to point this out, he supports his school named the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio. It was built last year in 2018, where the motto is "Nothing is given, nothing is earned." To start out, the reason why I picked LeBron James, you need to know the story of Eric Garner. Eric Garner on July 17, 2014, Garner was stopped by police over suspicion of selling cigarettes from different cigarette packs without any tax stamps. According to witnesses that were there at the situation, he flailed his arms and refused to cooperate. That was told by the New York Times. Eric Garner, this was his fourth altercation with the police that year, and the fourth time was the one that is being talked about the most in police brutality cases. Multiple police offenders tackled him down with his pleading of a breath of air, and the phrase "I can't breathe" was that came about. Eric Garner said that as the police were trying to hold him down on a busy street in New York. He then went in and after a couple, like around 11 pleads, said the New York Times that he then had a seizure because he couldn't catch his breath, he was rushed to the nearest hospital. He died a few days later after now recovering from the tragedy. So the one thing Eric Garner, sadly, is he's not the only one. So the phrase Black Lives Matter has come around this time, and Eric Garner is just a sliver of what has happened to many families, to many people around the world, and even really mainly in this country. If you look at this picture, these are the very famous cases. Say their name: Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice. So the FBI in 2014 had a collective data from 2012 that USA Today showed that 400 people died due to police brutality every year. 18% of blacks are under the age of 21 in that 7-year database was under the age of 21, compared to 8.7% of whites. Now, what does LeBron have to do with any of this? Well, in 2014, LeBron James and teammates in pregame against the Brooklyn Nets in early December, wore shirts that with the words "I can't breathe." Does that sound familiar? Yeah, that's the Eric Gardner phrase that was used as he was grasping for his final words ever on this earth. I can't breathe. So let's look into this. After the game, LeBron James had this to say. This is a audio clip from LeBron post game from Fox Sports.
Violence is not the answer, and retaliation isn't the solution. As a society, we know we have to get better, but it's not going to be done in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we know that, but we all have to do better.
LeBron James was not the only one and his teammates were not the only one in the NBA that caught on to the trend that LeBron set. That's what makes him a trailblazer. He influenced so many people to become more informed. So let's look at these people. I mean, you have prominent players like Kobe Bryant, Derrick Rose at the time. Then you have teams like the Lakers, the Kings, the Brooklyn Nets. Has a true meaning what LeBron was and LeBron is in this push for awareness of police brutalities from the 2016 ESPY speech he had with Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and Dwayne Wade. In that speech, he said, "It's time to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what are we doing to create change? It is not about being a role model. It is not about our responsibility to tradition of activism. I know tonight we are honoring Muhammad Ali, the GOAT, but to do his legacy any justice, let's use this moment for a call to action for all professional athletes to educate ourselves, explore those issues, speak up, use our influence, and renounce all violence." So LeBron James, he's a family man. He's an NBA champion. He's a Hall of Famer. But LeBron James is a lot more than that. LeBron James is a person that not only cares about his teammates, family members, he cares about this community and universe in the United States of America. Without LeBron James, I would not know, and no one would know what could we have seen a Colin Kaepernick kneeling in the national anthem. That's what you need that's what you need to think about when you hear LeBron James. Thank you. Here are my sources.